So she thought she was marrying a husband material. Married an African man abroad, but after the wedding, everything changed. Now he expects her to cook, to clean the house, to serve him while working a full-time job. Both of them work a full-time job, but now he expects her to do all the house chores. So is this culture or is this control? Where does one draw the line between submission and respect? Is this what love should be about? Is this marriage? Ask me. It's another story I can't wrap up my head. This is crazy. This is ridiculous, but it happens. This is a real story. Well, welcome to Ask Me series. On this series, we unpack real stories, real struggles, real marriages. If you want your story featured anonymously, please use the link on the description on this video. So let's get right into today's story because I can't wait. The story reads, I am 29, married for just over a year to my husband, who is 33. We both live abroad and have decent jobs. I work as a nurse and he works in the IT sector. Before marriage, he always praised my independence and ambition. He would always say he loves that I'm not the type of woman who waits for a man to feed her. But everything changed after we got married. Suddenly, he started expecting me to be a traditional wife. He wants freshly cooked meals every day, his clothes ironed, house spotless, and even expects me to serve him food on my knees because that's how a good wife behaves where we come from. Meanwhile, we both leave the house early, and sometimes I come home even more exhausted than he does. When I try to explain that I'm tired or ask him to help out, he says my mother did all these things for my dad without complaining. So why can't you? Or worse, you're letting Western culture confuse you. It's starting to affect how I feel about this marriage. I didn't sign up to be a maid. I love my culture, but I also believe in partnership. Why is it so hard for him to understand that times have changed? At this point, I don't know if I should keep pushing for change or just accept that this is who he is. What do you think? Can love survive when cultural expectations clash with modern realities? This is one story I can really relate to because it's almost a norm that so many marriages that were, let's say, surviving or managing back in their country of birth after relocating or moving to another clime, it deteriorates. Now I'll talk from where I'm coming from. So many marriages that were managing or just kind of surviving back in Africa have a tough time surviving when they relocate to other parts of the world. It's a tough one. It's happening, so I can relate to it that this is not just a one-off, and that's why I picked on this story to share. So thank you to the person who trusted enough to send this story in. Now let's go into it. Just like I say on this series, we share the story, you send it in anonymously, and we share the story. I give my take on it, which is just my opinion, and if it needs us to refer to professional counseling or therapists, I would do because I'm not a professional counselor. But most especially, what this series also aims to promote is getting, more insight from people watching, from the comment section. So if you're watching this and you've been in this same situation or you've handled it, you've crossed this hurdle, please share your experience or share an advice that would help not just the person who sent this story, but some other person who will be listening or watching the comment section and is in this similar situation. It would help them to hear how they should go about it, because in a multitude of counsel there is safety. First off, the hint that I would say that this marriage is just a year old, and you both are still very young in marriage, and even, age wise. It just shows that there have been deep seated things that you're still trying to, manage, or still trying to pass through. The first will be communication, because apart from bringing an insight to whoever who has shared this story, I also believe that whatever we'll be sharing will be helping people who are yet to get married, because I also believe that prevention is always better than cure. So apart from preferring a solution or sharing my insight with whoever is in this same situation, it will also be helpful for whoever is about to take this bold step of saying a yes to someone, to recognize these red flags. I shout red flags because so many of these things were there even before people got married. So communication. I wrote the hints or the tips I'm going to share. So I'll just be looking at my phone and just clipping on those hints, and just on those tips to share. It's communicating clearly. Now, don't assume that your partner understands or is aware of your boundaries. What can you take in marriage? What can't you take? And I don't care if someone feels, oh, it's prideful for you to say, oh, these are my expectations, I can't do this. Everybody have what they can take. And I've always said that marriage is a forever thing. It's a covenant. It's not just a contract that you sign and say, oh, I'm not doing again. Yes, when it gets to the extreme, you can actually make that choice. But when you're getting into it, I feel you should arm yourself with everything to say, I'm going into this marriage and I'm going to make it work. And you'll be mindful of the terms of the agreement. You'll be mindful of the person you are getting into this covenant with. Does this person think like I do? Or do I appreciate his thought pattern? Do I appreciate his belief system? Do I appreciate his value system? It's not every man you can marry. It's not every woman you can marry. Doesn't make them a bad person, but might just not be the right person for you. Might be that your values don't just align. So communicate your expectations clearly. What can't you do? It should always have been obvious. If this man is a very traditional man, then possibly you are not the right person for him. I, for one, was I for one. Personally, I cannot marry a traditional man, whether back in Nigeria where I come from or in any part of the world, because I am not the regular traditional wife. In quotes. Now, for someone watching and says, oh, what do you mean by traditional wife? It means the person that follows the tradition of where you are coming from. Because even from where I come from, for an example, women do not kneel down to serve their husband in my culture. So if I now go and marry someone that cannot stand being served by their wife on their knees, there's going to be a lot of conflicts. So it's either we always fight about that, or I'm now programmed to change my way of life, which I will not be happy with. I will now lose myself in trying to be a good traditional wife to this man. Communicate your boundaries early. Don't assume that this man needs it. Whether you are Christians, whether you are born again, tongue talking, demon chasing, with whatever religion you're coming from, communicate your expectations clearly. Communicate your boundary. I'll share a funny one I've shared in one of my videos where I told my husband that, sorry, I don't know how to pound yam. It's funny. In fact, I got a comment to say, oh, you're a proud woman. That's how we get these wives today that can't do anything. It's not Western anything. It's not a westernized whatever. It's just trying to get to every detail, because I'm going to be happily stuck with this man all my life. Let him know what to expect. Yes, It's not possible you know everything to expect or communicate about everything, but it's better too much than too little. Talk about every and anything you can talk about. And you know, when you communicate these boundaries, when you hear from someone, you have an idea, who is this kind of person? For an example, before I got married, I already had an idea that this man is not a traditional man, that this man is not, my husband is from the Yoruba culture back in Nigeria. And I knew that this man is not an average Yoruba man. So there are some things that you would expect from people of that tribe that he doesn't exhibit it. I saw it. And same from my tribe. There were some things that a regular or you just expect from this person and it's not there. It's just communicating. It's just me. Explain, communicate clearly. I hope I'm not beating it too much. So the second point I wrote down here is address cultural assumptions. I think I just pointed on it. Culture should enhance your relationship. Culture should not threaten your marriage. Culture should not burden it. It should enhance your relationship. So if you have a fight or it's a tussle between your marriage and culture, then there is something missing somewhere. Then I don't know if to say whether I should say that you people are not right for each other, but communicate that cultural assumptions. What do I expect of a husband? Do you understand? What do I expect of a wife? And know if this person is a right fit for you. Have an idea already. Is he looking for an independent wife or is looking for someone that he will ride on, someone that won't have an identity, someone that he will have a say over her life? You know, it varies. Next point or the next tip I'll share is set expectations clearly or early. Don't wait till after marriage. Don't wait. The time of courtship. How do you maximize your time of courtship? What do you talk about? Do you just hang around, talking about things that or watching movies? Talk about real life issues, because after the wedding comes marriage and life just comes. You won't just be talking about movies and dates. You'll be faced with real tough decisions that borders on your life, that borders on your relationship, borders on your career, borders on your family. And then you start raising a family and you're faced with tough decisions. And that is where the nature or the character of whoever you've gotten married to would be very obvious. You would now see how it influences the decisions you make as a couple. And the last tip, equality is not equal to disrespect. The person that wrote this story said, yes, partnership should be listening, partnership. Mine should be about partnership and it should not be about servitude or servanthood. Leadership is being a leader, a servant leadership, I understand. But when we now rub that servant thing to treat the other person less than they are, you're not supposed to treat your wife as a maid. You're not supposed to treat your husband as an errand person. Your wife is a part of you. Your husband is a replica of you. Would I treat myself this way? I think if we couples start thinking that way, it would influence the way we treat our spouse. Will I treat myself this way? Would I want to stand up in the middle of the night and expect someone to make me go to the kitchen to cook against my will? Not willful. Would I expect someone to treat me that way, whether you're a man or a woman? So equality is not disrespect. Last, I don't want to forget to share this with this person, is therapy. Therapy works. You just need to find someone to counsel that man. I hope he is accounted with someone. I hope you can talk to him to say, I'm not happy about this. Is this who he is? How do you deal with it going forward? You might just need therapy. You might need to be patient. You're already married to him. Need to, expose him to possibly a network or community of people that lives exemplary life. It's a circle of friends, those that endorses the kind of thing he does. So it's a lot to do. I hope you would agree with me right now that fixing this after marriage is a lot more burdensome than talking about it before you got married. So if you're yet to get married, talk about these things, express those things. If you're there watching this, what would you advise this person that just shared this story? It happens to a lot of couples that have moved abroad. Marriages are no longer working because the men still want their wives to be the way they were back in their country. And then you ask me, how were they back in their country? It's a whole lot of story. I think I might want to do another video on maybe why most marriages do not work abroad, but it still all boils down to the foundation, of these marriages, of what they didn't get right before they got married, the wrong expectations, wrong boundaries, and a lot of other things. So please share your insights. What would you expect this person to do? You might even have more experience, or you've been there, or you've seen someone, go down this lane and made it work. So please share your insights on the comment section, please. That's what it's for. What should this person do? Should she adapt? Should she cope? How will she make it right? How will she keep saying in this marriage that this man wants her to, do everything, and they both work full time? Definitely no equality here. She just has to be the traditional wife that he wants. Please, I'll expect your comments. And if you're coming to the channel for the first time, thank you for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, click a like and comment. It helps this video to travel far and helps someone that needs the video to see it. I appreciate you. Like, and please watch this other story. It's another jaw-dropping one that you want to listen to. And I'll see you over there.